That will work great.
Yes, it sure would.
Okay, we got the floor looking pretty good. Not too bad. I think it looks all right. It's a lot better than all that dust being all over the floor. It's already starting to dry. So our next step is to get started on the insulation. Today I got my grandkids with me, and we're going to be cutting some of the styrofoam that's going to be used on the walls. And we're going to be insulating the 1.5 inches from the metal to the inside of the 6x6. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but today, right now, for tonight, we're going to cut some 2-inch strips out of this 1/2 inch foam board. Just 2-inch strips. Yeah, this will be just a spacer to go to. We want to keep that foam board away from that metal. So this is going to keep it away about 1/2 inch. Really, you should keep it away about 3/4 inch. But I think 1/2 will be okay in our case.
Because we're putting other insulation.
Yeah, there's other insulation going on the walls too. So we're going to get to cutting some of these up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go down through here and mark this every 2 inches. We're going to make a mark.
But do you need this knife?
So we're going to get quite a few pieces out of one of these, but I'm sure we're going to run out. We'll have to have some more of these 1/2 inch pieces. Okay, it's time to chalk line it.
Okay.
Watch out, buddy.
Yeah.
Watch.
There it goes. We're going to make a mark on there. Ready, Mamo?
Ready.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take.
Next. Well, we better do 2 at a time.
Yeah, because I think,
We don't want to dust them off.
yeah.
So we can't wipe them down. So we want to cut these. What if we could use a
I got
carton
you
knife?
the thing.
Probably it's
Yeah.
good
I
enough.
got to
It might work better.
Mexican. It's really slow. See?
Well, you just want to be slow. Watch out, buddy. Watch out,
We only
buddy.
got about 400 of these things to cut. And they don't have to be perfect. All they got to be is a couple inches, just a spacer for behind there.
Where are we making?
Watch out, Camster.
Where are we making?
We're making spacers.
So we're going to get like 24
Yeah, should get 24.
out of each.
So this is what we're doing. We're just going to cut these in 2-inch.
Okay, don't break it, guys.
Yeah, don't break
We
them.
need it.
We're going to need them straight.
We need that. Don't break them. We'll just sit them over here. We'll just put a pile of them up there.
I'll follow it.
You don't follow it?
When you nibble it, can I bring it up and then put it in?
Yeah, you can do that. Are you learning anything here, buddy?
Well, I want to help you.
You want to help?
I want to make like another video.
You want to do a video?
Is this still here far away?
Okay.
No.
Where you going with it? You going to put it in the pile?
Put it up there for us.
Put it over in the pile.
Good
Here you
job.
go.
That's some good help
All right,
there.
hold on, baby. All right.
Then
Put it
do
up there.
this one now with this one.
Don't, stay off to the
Oh.
side. Okay.
Okay. Now put down.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Set, go.
Wow!
Oh.
Triangle. You don't have to pull it up so high. Good.
Like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. That's all right. We'll be fine.
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
We can
And
see it.
this cutter thing. You can know that one. I can see it.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish cutting these, and then we'll probably see you guys in the morning, and I'll get started early and putting the insulation up. Last night we got all the strips cut. We got the 3 8-foot boards, the 1/2 inch pieces, got them all cut. There's about 72 of them or something like that. That's only about half of what we're going to need to do this structure on the inside. Now you guys are going to have to bear with me because every once in a while the big heater over here is going to kick on. It's going to make a bunch of ruckus, and oh well, that's the heat. It's about 20 some degrees, about 25 degrees this morning, and it's about 71 in here. I got it set on 65, so like I said, you're going to have to bear with the heater. So there's the insulation board we're going to be putting up today. Poly Pro, and this is a 6.65. This is 1 inch, 6.65 R value. And we're going to be leaving a 1/2 inch gap from the outside. We're going to leave a 1/2 inch gap between here and these boards out here. It'll be between, actually it'll be a 1/2 inch gap between the 1 inch foam board and this outside wall. So let's get to putting some of this up. It's time. What's really nice about this stuff is it's so light to work with. That makes it really nice. I love working with it. And like I said, this is not something you have to do to your structure. This is something I wanted to do. Just a little bit of extra R value in the Barndominium. Just about all you're going to need is a tape measure, a chalk line, and a way to cut your foam board. Now, you could use an electric knife if you had one. I don't have one, so you're going to be using that thing. That works really well. It's a foam board cutter. Oh yeah, one more thing you might need. A way to mark it. I'm just using a little Sharpie. All right, here's the little strips that we cut last night. And the reason we're putting these on here is because we want that air gap between this and the outside wall. So we're gonna go ahead and put these guys down, and I'm just using a spray adhesive. And I am not sure, I think this is for foam. Yeah, this is for foam. So it's recommended for foam, so this is what we're using, just so you can see, right there. And we're going to go ahead and give these guys a quick little spray. Just like that. That's more than enough, I think. And I'm not going to put them clean out to the end. I'm going to leave them in just a few inches. And when we start doing the bigger ones, we might even put them in a little further. Maybe 3 inches or so. And sometimes you have to keep touching them, keep pushing them down to get them to stick. I know this is a pretty long process, but it works. And it gives you your space. What I'm going to do is put a little bit on here too. We'll give them both a little bit. Didn't seem like it wanted to stick real well. I think that's the way we did it in the garage. Put it on both sides. Yeah, that's better. That works a lot better. Now, I'm not sure how much foam we're going to use or how many of these we're going to use, but we're just going to take our time and get the inside walls, just the walls is all we're going to do. So I'm going to keep pressing this down until it gets a good stick, and then we'll go put it up. All right, I put that one off to the side so it can dry up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and cut our next piece, and if you notice, I turned it around. Because some of these you're going to find out that are going to be just a little bit off on one side than the other side. So what I'll do is go ahead and cut from this side. Now we won't waste the middle. We'll try and use it up too. when you go to put this up, make sure the white is on the inside. You want the foil on the outside. That's what helps give you your R value. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get this guy. And we're going to try to go behind them posts. I want to go behind these posts because when we put our walls up in here, there's not going to be any insulation behind that post. So this is actually going to give us a little bit more R value to the corners and behind the post. So what we did, we jammed it all the way in behind that post till it hits the wall. Now we're going to bend it. Hopefully it don't break. It shouldn't. We did the whole garage like this. And we're going to get that behind over there. I'm going to get in behind this post. Sometimes if you've got them tight, they're a little booger to get in there. But you don't want to smash it. All you want it to do is become flush with the outside of the 2x4. That's why we put the spacers in there. Now, it don't look like much, but I'm sure this is going to give us a decent amount of insulation in that void where there was no insulation. So, we're going to continue doing this throughout the whole entire structure on just the inside, the walls, just the walls. We're not doing anything to the ceiling, just these walls. Okay, that's a pretty tight fit, and it's all the way up against the wall, which is awesome. That's what we wanted. Definitely a good tight fit. So we're going to continue going with this and see how many we can get done today. So I wanted to take you guys over to the corner and show you back in there. You can see that foam board goes all the way up against that wall. And here I had to put a little piece back in there, but it goes all the way up against the wall. So that corner should be well insulated. I mean, for the space that I have. I've been using a chalk line and it just barely gives me a mark. You can barely see it. So we have an old piece of F channel left over from the house. It's nice and straight. And it having these grooves makes it stay straight. So I'm just using it as a guide to mark these now. So I'll have a good dark line on my foam board. A little easier to see. That gives me a nice straight line. So this piece of scrap, it's not actually scrap, it's a whole piece. But it did come in handy for something. All right, I have a couple of these ready here. Having just a little bit of an issue with this spray adhesive. This is for foam, but it's not quite as sticky as the glue we were using on the garage. And I don't know if that glue that we used on the garage walls was exactly for foam. But we're not actually putting the spray right on the foam. There's a foil on here and a plastic membrane on the back of this. So I don't see where it would hurt no matter what type of spray we used, as long as we don't spray it directly on the foam. But it might be because it's not really that cold in here. That heater's getting it up pretty warm, but we might end up having to get some more glue. And if I do, I'll tell you guys what I use. But right now, I mean, they're sticking. You can see they're sticking on here pretty good, but I don't want them breaking loose. So let's get to putting a couple more of these panels in. I got 3 of them ready sitting here. Now this one here, I cut the little notch out for the 2x4. There's a 2x4 in there, and I want that to go between that 2x4, and so it goes all the way back up against the wall behind there. It looks to me like it's going to be a little tight. We're going to cut that a little bit just to make sure it fits okay. We don't want to fight it in and out if we can help it. We want them tight, but we don't want them too tight to where they won't fit. So let me take a piece here. It looks like it might be off just a tad bit. We'll cut just a little bit more off of it. Just so we know it's going to go back in there and be decently tight. I think that's going to do it. Oh yeah, that's going to be a perfect fit when we get it back in there. So let's go ahead and get this guy. We want it to go all the way back against that wall back there. Right there it should be. Oh yeah, nice and tight. Then we're going to bend it, put the other side in, start pressing it into place. Like I said, I have these just a little bit tight, so they stay in there. And you don't want to push them too far. You just want to push against the spacer that you have in the back. What's really cool about this now, I'll put the other ones right up against this piece here. From that side, we'll butt them right up against here so we make sure that our insulation is behind this post. We want it behind the post here. Look at that. Look how nice that is. Literally, I could feel the difference in this wall just from these couple pieces. I think this is going to help us out a lot. All right, so when we cut those two at the top over there, we had an extra piece that was just long enough, wide enough to fit in this top one up here. So we got it cut. I have the other one for the bottom on that side drying. We got the glue on there. It takes a few minutes for it to dry. So we just keep pressing it down and let it do its thing. But we're going to go ahead and put this one in. Let's see. We're going to put that one in there. Now we got to go behind this panel, and I'm not sure if we can do this or not, but we're going to give it a try. It's going to be hard. We don't want to break it. Okay, we're back in there. That's the side I want to make sure I'm back in the bed. Now we got to get this guy squeezed in here. Let's see if we can get it back in the hole. Might be a little tough. We'll get it. I think we're good there. We have that piece right here. This is for our wiring to come into the house. We're going to have to work around it the best we can. This is definitely a tight fit. Go right on across here. Boy, tight fit, really tight fit. No air is going to get around that boy. Okay, now that looks nice. I like it. Now when we put our walls up there, it's going to go right up against there, right on the outside of that. It's going to be sweet. I like it. So now we have a couple little spaces over here. We're going to go ahead and cut one for up here and get that taken care of. And then we'll start. That one over there should be dry by the time we get this done. Nice and tight up against the wall. No air gaps. Looks good. Okay, I wanted to show you guys how this works in the back. As you can see the little spacer that we put in there, and you can see the air gap all the way up through there. And that's what you're looking for. You want that little bit of an air gap. I wouldn't recommend putting a full 1.5 inch foam board in here. That's what I was gonna do, but that's not how this foam board works. You need that air gap in there to get the full R value of your styrofoam. As you can see, there's our foam, and there's our gap, and there's the outside wall. Now, as you can see, we're trying to use up all the scraps that we possibly can. We haven't cut a new piece, and we've done a few pieces here, which is pretty cool. Try to use up as much as you possibly can. If it fits, cut it and put it in there. Nice. Okay, everyone. Julie decided to get out of bed.
Shut up.
All right, so we were working with the other glue, and the glue just was not working out for me good enough. And I went back to my video where we did the garage build, and we did all that glue in there, and we used the Gorilla Glue. Went and got some of this. Julie's putting it on these, and she's saying, hey, they're sticking pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
The other ones were taking forever to dry and to stick. So the Gorilla Glue is one for this job. I'll try to leave this in the description down below. I've been trying to use up every bit of the scraps that I can. This is where it goes. Pretty sure it's where it goes. It's a little tight. A little snug.
That one on camera. That one is a little
I was
small.
hoping I got it in the right hole here. It should be.
That one's nice and airtight.
Nothing's coming through that. Okay, y'all notice I left 1.5 inch gap at the top of here. You're gonna find out why I did this in the future. So, but right now we need 1.5 inches. I kind of screwed them up. I'm gonna have to go back through and either take them out or we're gonna have to cut 1.5 inches off of them. All right, you can't really tell what I got done because all the walls are white and we're adding white to them. But we have the foam. This whole wall here is finished with the foam board. And right around that window, we got three pieces on this side of that window to do. And then we're gonna work our way across here. So I think this is actually gonna help a lot. I think. Alright, that was the last piece that we had to put up. And as you can see, Julie's going around duct taping all the seams. We're going to see if this duct tape will stay on there. We just give one wall a try and see what happens. That's still going to seal up a lot of air gaps that might be in the wall. Like I said, this is not something you have to do. It's just something we wanted to do for just a little bit of extra protection, a little more insulation. So I would like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.